When the world tells you it's over, sometimes you just need to listen to the silence and keep going. This is the story of a fisherman who taught an entire village the power of patience, and how faith can turn even the emptiest nets into miracles. The sun rose over the endless blue sea, painting the waves with gold. But for Morrow, it was just another morning of empty nets. The ocean whispered stories of abundance, but his small wooden boat returned each evening with nothing but disappointment. He had been fishing these waters since he was a child, just like his father and his grandfather before him. He knew the sea like the lines on his own palms. But this year, the waters seemed cursed. Day after day, his nets came up empty. The other fishermen lost hope. Some found other work. Some left the coast entirely. One morning, as they gathered at the dock, an older fisherman named Tomas, with weary eyes, said, "There's nothing left, Morrow. The sea has turned its back on us. We're done for the year." The others nodded, pulling their boats ashore. But Morrow just smiled faintly and replied, "Maybe the sea is only testing us. I believe the fish are still out there." They laughed and walked away, leaving him alone with his faith. Every single day, Morrow rowed his small boat far from shore. He studied the currents, he watched the flight of seabirds, and he learned how the water's color changed with the tide. He changed his bait, his nets, even his methods. But each evening he returned with little or nothing. His family began to worry. His wife, Elena, said gently, "Morrow, maybe it's time to rest. We can find another way to live." Morrow shook his head. "The sea gives to those who wait, Elena. I can feel it." Weeks turned into months. The whispers in the village grew louder. "Poor Morrow," people said. "He's chasing ghosts." Children pointed at his empty boat as he returned. Friends started to avoid his eyes. Even Elena's voice grew tired, full of quiet desperation. One night, under a sky scattered with stars, Morrow sat by the shore, just staring at the calm sea. The moon shimmered across the water like silver tears. He whispered to the waves that had once been his friend, "Why have you forsaken me?" There was no answer, only the sound of waves brushing the sand. His hands were rough, his back ached, and his heart felt heavier than the empty nets in his boat. Every part of him wanted to give up, except his spirit. He remembered his grandfather's words, spoken so long ago, "The sea is alive, Morrow. It listens. It tests your patience. But if you respect it, it will reward you when you least expect it." Morrow closed his eyes and took a deep breath. "Just one more time," he whispered. "I'll try one more time." At dawn, he prepared his boat again, alone, tired, but determined. This time, he decided to sail farther than he ever had before, beyond the reefs, beyond the places he'd always known. The sky was clear, the water was calm. Hours passed as he drifted farther into the deep blue, guided only by instinct and faith. Then, he noticed something, birds circling high above a distant spot, diving suddenly into the waves. His heart leaped. This must be it. Morrow lowered his net slowly, carefully, letting it sink deep into the unknown. He waited, still and silent, listening to the heartbeat of the sea, and then, a pull, a strong, sudden tug. The rope strained, the wood of his boat creaked, his arms trembled. With every ounce of strength he had left, Morrow pulled the heavy net up. As it broke the surface, sunlight caught the flashes of silver. The net was bursting with fish, hundreds of them, thrashing, alive. Tears filled his eyes. He had done it. The sea had finally answered. When Morrow returned to the village, the people rushed to the dock in astonishment. No one had seen a catch that large in years. The air filled with cheers and laughter. Even the ones who had doubted him now looked at him with admiration. Tomas, the old fisherman, walked forward, placed a hand on Morrow's shoulder, and said, "You were right, my friend. The sea tests us, but patience truly pays." Morrow smiled humbly. The sea rewards those who respect its rhythm and never lose hope. That night, as the village celebrated, Morrow sat quietly by the shore, watching the moon rise over the water. He realized that what he had gained wasn't just fish, it was faith. Life, like the sea, has its own rhythm. Some days are full of abundance. Others give you nothing but silence. But just because you don't see results doesn't mean nothing is happening. The world is still moving, preparing, aligning, waiting for the right moment to reward you. Patience is not just doing nothing, it's believing, trying, and trusting, even when no one else does. When others give up, those who keep going often find success waiting just a little further ahead. So don't pull your boat ashore too soon. Your tide might be coming in tomorrow. Every dream has its storm, and every storm has its calm. Morrow's story reminds us that sometimes, failure is not the end. It's the test before the reward. When everything in you wants to quit, take one more breath, push one more time, because your sea might just be waiting for that one last act of faith. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who might be ready to give up. Remind them that patience may not be easy, but it's always worth it. And if you believe in the power of perseverance, please subscribe and stay with us. Because just like Morrow, you too can find your treasure if you never stop rowing toward it. Thanks for watching.